The Caribbean Sea glistens in the sun, a postcard-perfect image of calm waters and rolling waves. But beneath that beauty, tensions ripple across the region. Ports are circulating. The United States Navy has deployed significant assets near Venezuela. For Washington, it is a show of dominance, perhaps deterrence. For Caracas, it is a chilling reminder that confrontation is no longer unthinkable. At the center of this drama stands Maduro, leader, survivor, and self-declared defender of Venezuelan sovereignty. Flanked by generals in green uniforms and supported by a narrative of resistance, Maduro tells the world that his nation is ready to fight back, ready to transform itself into an armed republic. But how did this small Caribbean nation find itself locked in a dangerous standoff with the world's most powerful military? And what would it truly mean for ordinary Venezuelans if rhetoric turns into reality? The roots of Venezuela hostility stretch back decades. For much of the 20th century, Venezuela was a close economic partner of the United States. Its vast oil reserves, among the largest in the world, supplied American refineries, fueling cars, planes, and industry. Caracas was a loyal ally until the political earthquake of the late 1990s. Hugo rose to power, promising a Bolivarian revolution. He spoke of independence from U.S. influence, redistribution of oil wealth, and solidarity with nations defying Washington. His fiery speeches and socialist policies earned him passionate supporters at home and bitter enemies abroad. When passed away in Arting-y-Sen, his successor Maduro inherited both the revolutionary mantle and the growing hostility with the United States. Under his rule, Venezuela slid deeper into economic turmoil. Oil production collapsed, hyperinflation destroyed savings, and millions of citizens fled the country in search of better lives. For Washington, Maduro became the face of authoritarianism and corruption. For Caracas, the United States became the symbol of economic strangulation through crushing sanctions. Both sides locked themselves into a cycle of accusation and retaliation. Fast forward to the present, American warships began appearing near Venezuelan waters. Officially, Washington speaks of combating drug trafficking, supporting regional allies, and defending democracy. Yet to Venezuelan officials, the presence of these ships looks like encirclement, a prelude to aggression. The Venezuelan government insists that what is unfolding is not a mere exercise. Maduro claims the United States is preparing for intervention, while the Pentagon maintains that the goal is deterrence, not invasion. When this fog of politics and propaganda, one truth stands out. Warships so close to Venezuelan shores are a symbol too powerful to ignore. Here lies the stark imbalance. United States Navy remains unmatched. Aircraft carriers, advanced destroyers bristling with missiles, nuclear submarines patrolling silently beneath the waves, and a logistical machine capable of projecting power anywhere on Earth. Venezuela, by contrast, commands a far smaller fleet. Aging frigates, coastal patrol vessels, a few submarines struggling to remain operational under years of sanctions. Its Air Force fields, Russian-made Sukhoi fighters, and some older aircraft. But maintenance and spare parts are constant challenges. On paper, the battle seems one-sided. But Maduro and his generals know this well. Their strategy is not to outgun the United States, but to turn any confrontation into a grinding, asymmetric war. Coastal missile defenses, hidden launchers, jungle guerrilla tactics, and above all, mass mobilization of civilians through the Bolivarian militia. It is here that Maduro's most striking claim emerges. Venezuela, he insists, is ready to become an armed republic. In his vision, every citizen is a defender of the homeland. Men and women, young and old, all united in the cause of resisting what he calls imperial aggression. Rallies are held where militia members march with rifles, chanting slogans of defiance. Maduro's speeches mix revolutionary fervor with warnings of invasion. The narrative is clear. If the United States ever lands troops on Venezuelan soil, they will face not just an army, but an entire people. Yet the reality on the ground is more complicated. Millions of Venezuelans struggle with daily hardships, empty supermarket shelves, long blackouts, a currency that buys less each week. For them, the promise of becoming soldiers is less inspiring than the need for food, medicine, and stability. Still, history shows that nations under siege often find unity, whether out of patriotism, fear, or survival. Many Venezuelans may indeed rally if the threat becomes real. Venezuela is not isolated in this standoff. Russia has supplied fighter jets, missiles, and advisors. Iran has defied sanctions by sending oil tankers across the Atlantic, escorted defiantly into Venezuelan ports. China, though more cautious, has invested billions in Venezuela's oil sector and remains a key financial partner. For Maduro, these alliances are shields against total isolation. They also complicate Washington's calculus. Any confrontation risks drawing in powerful nations that see Venezuela not only as a partner, but also as a stage in the global contest against American dominance. The United States, of course, emphasizes its own alliances in the region. Colombia, Brazil, and other neighbors watch closely, some openly opposing Maduro's government. Regional tension, therefore, magnifies the danger. Beyond military hardware and political speeches lies the most sobering dimension: the lives of ordinary people. Venezuela is already in the grip of one of the largest humanitarian crises in the Western Hemisphere. More than 7 million citizens have left the country in recent years. Those who remain often face shortages of food, medicine, and basic services. In this fragile context, the prospect of war is terrifying. Even without invasion, the threat alone fuels fear. Parents wonder if their children will be called to fight. Farmers worry if sanctions and blockades will tighten. Communities question how much more they can endure. It is a cruel irony, a nation blessed with oil wealth, now bracing for potential war in the shadow of poverty. This leads us to the central question: is Venezuela truly on the edge of war with the United States, or are both sides locked in political theater for Washington? Naval deployments showcase power, reassure allies, and pressure Maduro without committing to direct intervention. For Caracas, declaring an armed republic rallies loyalists, strengthens Maduro's grip on power, and projects defiance. Symbols matter in geopolitics. Warships on the horizon and militias on parade can both be powerful tools, but symbols are dangerous when they spark accidents. A collision at sea, a misinterpreted radar signal, or a single shot fired in panic could escalate a symbolic standoff into a real conflict. So where does this path lead? Some analysts predict a prolonged standoff, neither side willing to escalate fully, but neither side backing down. Others warn that Venezuela's deepening crisis may one day ignite unrest that draws in external powers. The truth may lie in between, a fragile balance where warships patrol, militias march, and millions of ordinary people struggle to survive in the middle. For now, the U.S. fleet sails near Venezuela, a constant reminder of pressure. Maduro speaks of resistance, vowing that his people are ready. The world watches, uncertain if this is a bluff, a performance, or the opening chapter of a dangerous confrontation. History has taught us that empires and small nations alike can stumble into wars neither truly wants. The United States and Venezuela may posture, may threaten, may deploy forces, but behind the smoke and the rhetoric lies a deeper truth. This is not only about oil, or ideology, or sovereignty. It is about human lives. It is about whether two nations, locked in enmity, can resist the pull of conflict long enough to find another path. Perhaps in the end, the story of Venezuela's standoff with the United States will not be written by ships or missiles, but by the choices leaders make and by the resilience of the people caught in between. And as the Caribbean waves crash on Venezuelan shores, the world waits to see. Will this be remembered as the war that never happened, or the conflict that no one could stop once it began?